Science, Gautam Garu, Glorious Campus Life, and the Pharmacy here, Ramarao Garu. Madam is मैं तो गाड़ी में This is Anjaney's meet.
Sir. Om Jnanama Hare Om Devi Bhagavandevadam Kripadu Vedam.
This is Mr. Gandhi, our governing body member. He is the one who survived in the accident along with my grandfather in Alaska. Out of 5, only survivor. Dr. Gangadhar Rao, he is our vice president of the society. Mr. Hamza is a member of our governing body. Welcome to our campus. We'll start off.
Yeah.
Last sort of South Indian visit uncomfortable, I'll stand in.
No problem, sir.
My grandfather never did it, so I've never done this. Somebody else do. This is
The Nobel Peace Prize for 2014 is to be awarded to Kailash Satyarthi for is to be awarded to Kailash Satyarthi for their struggle against suppression of young people and children.
There is no greater violence than to deny the dreams of our children. I refuse to accept that the laws and constitutions are unable to protect our children. Today is the time for every child to have the right to life. I refuse to accept that the shackles of slavery can ever be more stronger than the quest for freedom. I refuse to accept here.
Getting a greeting like this is all the reward Kailash Satyarthi needs for freeing these children from a life of slavery. He tries to give these kids the childhood they missed.
Do you think these kids see you as a Nobel Peace Prize winner?
Oh, I don't think they see me as friend or brother or something like father. I have looked into their frightened and exhausted eyes. I've held their injured bodies and I have felt their broken spirits. I refuse to accept that children belonging to certain sections of society are born to work for others at the cost of their childhood and freedom and education. If the children are exploited, if the children are deprived from their childhood in any part of the world cannot live in peace. The world cannot be human.
It's not often the two winners of the Nobel Peace Prize get together, but it happened yesterday when President Obama met Kailash Satyarthi. They were joined by 3 children who were rescued from child trafficking and forced marriage.
You cannot live in isolation. All the problems and solutions are interconnected. And so the problem of child labor in any part of the world is your problem.
Satyarthi organizes raids with local police, but sometimes employers are tipped off and waiting for him armed.
But I have been attacked many times in my life.
You had a gun to your head.
Literally here.
This is dangerous work, freeing these kids.
Somebody has to pay the cost for freedom. It does not come on plate. So if not me, then who else will do? Who will a Nobel Prize?
Who won the Nobel Prize, he asks. Their reply, all of us kids.
It's good. Every single minute matters. Every single child matters. Every single childhood matters.
The Nobel Peace Prize for 2014 is to be awarded to Kailash Satyarthi for their struggle against suppression of young people and children.
There is no greater violence than to deny the dreams of our children. I refuse to accept that the laws and constitutions are unable to protect our children. Today is the time for every child to have the right to life. I refuse to accept that the shackles of slavery can ever be more stronger than the quest for freedom. I refuse to accept here.
A very good morning to the distinguished guests, dignitaries, academicians, teachers, students, support staff, print and electronic media. On behalf of GITAM, I extend a warm welcome to this illustrious gathering. In the words of Mahatma Gandhi, literacy in itself is no education. Literacy is not the end of education or even the beginning. By education, I mean an all-round drawing out of the best in the child and man, body, mind, and spirit. This vision of the Mahatma is deeply rooted in the ideals that GITAM, Gandhi Institute of Technology and Management, has continued to embody since its inception in 1980. Committed to the cause of producing holistic and humanitarian individuals, GITAM is the fruit of the vision of an unassuming personality, an indefatigable spirit, a man with a mission, the Honorable Dr. MVVS Murthy Garu. As we approach the celebration of the 75th Independence Day of our nation, our hearts swell with pride at the progress achieved in leaps and bounds by our country. So too, GITAM, in keeping with Gandhiji's view of education as transcending all linguistic, racial, and other barriers, has come a long way. GITAM is now renowned as one of the premier higher education institutes India has to offer, with 22 schools, 17 research centers, and 76 academic departments. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a delightful day as we've gathered here today to celebrate the 42nd Foundation Day of GITAM. And once again, I extend a cordial welcome to each and every one of you to today's celebration. I now take the pleasure of inviting the efficient Professor D. Gunashekaran, Honorable Registrar of GITAM Deemed University, to grace the dais. I now take the pleasure of inviting the efficient Professor Y. Gautam Rao, Pro Vice Chancellor, Campus Life, GITAM Deemed University, to grace the dais. May I now call upon an able administrator, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of GITAM Deemed University, Professor Dayananda Siddhavatam, to grace the dais. I now request the exemplary Shri M. Gangadhar Rao, Honorable Vice President of GITAM, to grace the dais. I am delighted to invite a dynamic and prudent leader, the Honorable President of GITAM, Shri M. Shri Bharat, to grace the dais. I deem it an honor and a privilege to now invite our charismatic chief guest for the day, Nobel Peace Laureate, Mr. Kailash Satyarthi, to kindly grace the dais. Please rise for the prayer.
ज्योत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनी पुल्लकुसुमित द्रुमदलशोभिनी सुहासिनी सुमधुरभाषिणी सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरम्.
I take the honor of now inviting our distinguished guest, Nobel Peace Laureate Mr. Kailash Satyarthi, to kindly light the lamp. I request the other dignitaries on the dais to join the chief guest. Now I invite Professor Dayananda Siddhavatam, Vice Chancellor, GITAM Deemed University, to address the August gathering.
Good morning to you all. Esteemed Chief Guest, Sri Kailash Satyarthi ji, Honorable Chancellor Padma Shri Virendra Singh Chauhan ji, Honorable President Sri M. Sri Bharat Garu, respected Vice President Mr. Gangadhar Rao Garu, beloved members of the governing body and Board of Management, respected Pro-Vice Chancellors, Deans, heads of the institutes, registrar, functional directors, heads of the departments, faculty, staff, students, distinguished invitees, press and electronic media. Ladies and gentlemen, I am really privileged and honored to be associating with this university. And the moment I entered into the premises, you have reminded me the great visionary Ella Pragad Subbarao Garu, after whom this beautiful seminar hall is named. Most of us are surviving because of his contributions to the modern medicine. A physician turned scientist, biochemist, who discovered ATP and several anti-cancer and antibiotics. And naming the hall after him speaks about the humility of the institution and the foundations on which the institution is built. I am really fortunate to be associating with such great institution. I resolve and assure all of you I do my best to make it more vibrant and academically challenging institution. I now formally present what all GITAM has done up till now to the chief guest and also most of the invitees and students. As you all know, nothing new I am going to tell. I am going to tell whatever that you have achieved and whatever that you have contributed, whatever that you have made to this institution to stand as a tall academic institute in the country and also for earning the global name. I consider it as a honor and privilege to have amongst us Sri Kailash Satyarthi ji, the founder of multiple social organizations, including Bachpan Bachao Andolan, Global March Against Child Labor, Global Campaign for Education, and many more. and whose selfless work and dedicated service for the upliftment of millions of underprivileged children brought a Nobel Peace Prize to this nation. As a distinguished guest today of the function, we are really privileged and honored, sir. We are highly thankful to you, sir, for accepting our invitation to be the chief guest of today's event and to deliver GITAM's Foundation Day endowment lecture. Recently, I have assumed charge as Vice Chancellor of GITAM, deemed to be university, and observed that there are three important factors responsible for GITAM's continued success. The first and foremost is the foresightedness and outstanding managerial skills of the founders, the dedication and commitment of the faculty and staff, and the brand image of GITAM that is built over the years by continued service of our faculty and staff. With the inspiration of our dynamic president, Sri M. Bharat Garu, who has clear vision and lofty ideals, we are doing our best to achieve the goals of our founders. Personally, I feel it privileged and honored to be at the helm of affairs of this prestigious university in the defining moment of its journey, and I assure every member of GITAM family that I will be striving hard to the best of my ability to translate our goals into reality. Today is another milestone in the annals of GITAM, which has successfully completed 42 years of a reputed higher educational institution in the country, including 15 years as premier deemed to be university. I am extremely happy to inform you that since the last Foundation Day was celebrated on 14th August 2021, we have made considerable progress in many areas. On this occasion, I would like to briefly recapitulate the genesis and growth of the GITAM, its achievements, its priority areas of action, and our vision and mission. As you are aware, Gandhi Institute of Technology and Management was founded by a group of eminent intellectuals and industrialists of Andhra Pradesh under the leadership of Dr. M.V.V.S. Murthy Garu, a prominent philanthropist, statesman. The great visionary, Dr. M.V.V.S. Murthy Garu, has seen a clear link between education and poverty alleviation and started GITAM with the objectives of promoting quality higher education to the future citizens of this nation, particularly to the people of Andhra Pradesh. Initially, it was established as an engineering college in 1980. However, responding to the expanding needs in diverse fields of knowledge, a number of institutions, schools have been added over the years. We now have School of Business, Dental College and Hospital, School of Sciences, School of Pharmacy, School of Architecture, School of Law, Institute of Medical Sciences and Research, Institute of Nursing, and School of Humanities and Social Sciences, and School of Physiotherapy, School of Paramedical Sciences, and a unique Swecha School. GITAM has excellent support system. GITAM promotes both curricular and co-curricular activities using these support systems. GITAM has established a Center for Advanced Technology Solutions to provide campus-wide computing, network, storage, communication, and to promote the meta classroom concept across the campuses. A 5-storied air-conditioned central library named as Knowledge Resource Center has equipped with a digital library, e-learning resources, reprographic facility. The KRC holds 2.5 million volumes, including textbooks, reference books, e-books, periodicals, journals, and e-journals. During this academic year alone, GITAM has added 3 crores worth e-learning resources to KRC. GITAM's strength is its committed and well-qualified faculty. GITAM attracts and nurtures young, talented faculty and promotes them to the decisive academic roles. During this academic year alone, we have recruited 336 faculty to cater to the needs of the teaching and research of various departments and schools. At present, GITAM has 1,470 faculties serving various schools located across 4 campuses. Over the years, these schools have established excellent standards of teaching and research and have earned a good reputation for GITAM as a premier institute offering quality education. Considering the quality of infrastructure, academic contributions, the eminent faculty of GITAM, the regulatory bodies such as AICT approved graduate programs of engineering. The National Medical Commission approved both UG and PG courses given by GITAM. Likewise, Pharmacy Council of India, Council of Architecture, Indian Nursing School, Bar Council of India approved respective graduate and postgraduate programs, reinforcing the views of the regulatory authorities of India. University Grants Commission, New Delhi, on the very same day in 2007, granted deemed to be university status to GITAM. At present, GITAM has over 23,500 full-time students, 2,180 full-time research scholars from across the country pursuing different academic programs. These are some of the brightest minds of the country who have joined the university after clearing national level rigorous entrance test. University is proud to record that its achievement and nearly 100% placement through campus recruitment. GITAM has internal quality assurance wing and independent academy called GLAD Academy to update the academic skills of our faculty. We collect feedback from the students, employers on our strengths and weaknesses and try to work hard to retain our strengths and rectify our weaknesses by conducting frequent training programs. Glad to inform that our GLAD Academy plays a very critical and catalytic role in conducting the frequent training programs. GITAM faculty attracted during this academic year nearly 7.5 crores worth of extramural funding, and DST, UGC, DBT, DRDO, CSIR are some of the national funding agencies supported the research activity. I am proud to announce that GITAM has given 40 crores to establish state-of-the-art facilities to support the research needs of the university. Sanctioning such a huge sum for developing research infrastructure in a single financial year is a progressive decision, and it is one of the rarest events in any public and private sector institutions. GITAM has established international and national collaborations. GITAM has partnered with several global premier research organizations and universities to promote collaborative interdisciplinary research activities. The prominent universities and institutes that we have partnered with are Stanford University, USA, University of Nebraska, Central Michigan State University, and University of Texas, Nisipping University, Canada, University of Lancaster, University of Udine, Italy, Burgundy School of Business, France, Nyon Polytechnic, Singapore, St. Petersburg State Marine Technology University, Russia, Northeastern University, Boston, and University of Nottingham, UK, and Swinburne University of Technology, Melbourne, Aston University, Birmingham, Elon University, North Carolina. The national accreditation and assessment agencies have periodically visited the GITAM University at several time points, and MHRD rated GITAM University as Category 1 deemed university and accorded graded autonomy in 2018. NAC assessed the institution and gave A+ grade and awarded 3.5 points out of 4. This is one of the proudest achievements of GITAM. The GITAM found 92nd rank in the NIRF rank released by Ministry of Human Resource Development. UGC also accorded 12B status to GITAM. The Times Higher Education World Rankings placed GITAM at 1,201st position, and it is one of the Asia's 400 universities. GITAM also acquired ISO certification and it is valid till 2023. GITAM also promotes extracurricular activities and extension activities. Students associated with the faculty member, in association with the faculty members, organized several social outreach activities. University NSS unit has been awarded the Best NSS Unit Award by State Government of Andhra Pradesh. And Government of Andhra Pradesh has given 12 lakhs to GITAM to promote NSS activities. The GITAM is also having NSS wing, and which is vibrant, and it is one of the rare institutions in which a unique separate NSS wing is there for girl students. GITAM hosted recently international chess tournament on 10th to 17th June 2022. A total of 950 chess players representing from 15 countries have participated in the competition. And won medals. In the intra-university sports event, 20 students have won medals and awarded for their exemplary performance. The innovative, eco-friendly, and smart grey water filter system developed called hydrogravity, designed by BTech students of Computer Science Department, won national appreciation, and the same team is representing India at the International Water Congress to be held at Technical University of Denmark this year. Career guidance and the guidance cell of the university provides training and assists students in exploring their career choice. Over 3,800 students got placed through the campus placement drives conducted at all three campuses of during the year 2021-22, a record among the universities of this kind. I present before you in brief about the genesis, growth, and milestones of the GITAM University. The long-term vision and university is to figure in the top 100 universities in the world university ranking by 2040. I hope that the university will gradually transform itself into an efficient and dynamic higher education institute and progressively take steps to achieve a place in world university rankings. On this 42nd Foundation Day of GITAM, let us resolve to work together to passionately pursue our vision and build an exemplary national institution of great value which stands among the finest in the world. May GITAM continue to inspire the present and future generations, create value of all the stakeholders, meet societal obligations, and contribute to the national building. I once again express my sincere gratitude to Sri Kailash Satyarthi ji, a recipient of Nobel Prize, for kindly accepting to be the chief guest of today's function and deliver the Endowment Foundation lecture. His august presence has an electrifying effect among all of us. Now it is my pleasant duty to thank our Honorable Chancellor Padma Shri Dr. Virendra Singh Chauhan, Honorable President Sri M. Bharat Garu, and Honorable Vice President Sri M. Gangadhara Garu for their gracious presence on this occasion. I also extend my sincere gratitude to the members of the governing body and Board of Management for the richness of their counsel and encouragement and commitment to the vision and values of the GITAM. I would like to place on the record my deepest appreciation of the tireless efforts of all colleagues, both past and present, who have traveled all along with GITAM and contributed for the growth and development of this great institution. I express my thanks to the Ministry of Education, University of Grants Commission, All India Council for Technical Education, National Medical Commission, Council for Architecture, Pharmacy Council of India, Indian Nursing Council, Bar Council of India, the state governments of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, and funding agencies for cooperation and continued support. And finally, a special word of thanks to the media friends for extending their unstinted support and encouragement to GITAM. We continue to look forward for your cooperation in years ahead. I am also thankful for all the guests and invitees who are here in response to our invitation and made today's function a truly memorable event. Thank you.
On behalf of the gathering, I would like to thank the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dayananda Siddhavatam, for his address. I now request the Honorable President of GITAM, Shri M. Shri Bharat, to address the gathering.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Kailash ji, for accepting our invitation to leaders on and off the dais, invitees, faculty, students. It's good to not have some particular agenda, but a general agenda, so it gives me freedom to speak about a lot of topics. And I must say that this is a pleasant change. In the last 1 month, we have sat in 4 graduation ceremonies. I have not experienced this much silence in any of those 4 events. So at least our faculty have not become indisciplined yet. So that's good. That's good to see this. I hope that this soon translates to our students and to our wider ecosystem. It's much needed. We found it difficult to get 5 minutes of silence from students in our graduation ceremonies. So this is good. So I have a few things that I would like to speak about. Leadership, morality, adversity, women, and now in particular, because Kailash ji is here, children. These 5 topics I'd like to cover, and in no particular order. So what are the challenges that we are facing, both internal and external, and then what are the opportunities that we have to overcome those challenges? So we'll start off with the external challenges. As I speak today, we live in an environment where the entire society operates in a mindset that somebody is guilty until proven innocent. And we always regulate with that in our mindset. One of the outcomes of that mindset is that today the Medical Council says that all deemed universities should surrender 50% of their seats at government rates, which is practically for free. For an institution like GITAM that has planned the next 3 years or 5 years of investment, to suddenly lose 50% of our revenue in the medical institution is a big challenge. It puts the survival of the institution or the vision of the institution at risk. And unfortunately, we have not been able to appeal to reason, so we have gone to court, and we are fighting this. And what does this mean? I mean, on one side, we want to increase salaries, we want to invest into a new operation theatre facility. On the other side, government is saying that 50% of your money you don't need, give it back to us. And this is just one example of the kind of adversities that the institution is facing. AICT has come up with a recommendation report where it says that one part of it is good, that there is a minimum cap on engineering fees and other programs, so at least some minimum level of quality can be maintained. But at the same time, it also stipulates a maximum cap. And that again will limit institutions from dreaming big. And to, as the Vice Chancellor mentioned, it is a courageous step on behalf of the leadership management to choose to invest over 40 crores into research and teaching lab infrastructure in 1 year. We would not been able to take this step if not for the confidence that the next 3 years we're able to plan with some freedom, with some confidence. But unfortunately, after this year, I don't know if we'll be able to make such big moves because we see this attack from the outside. And I think this is a mindset that all of us have. This is not something that's a problem only with the regulators. All of us individually embody this. And I think this is where the question of morality comes in. One is the frog in the well syndrome, where somebody next to us is climbing up the well. We don't want that person to climb up. We'll hold the leg and pull them down. The other is that, as I had said earlier, everybody is guilty until proven innocent. So the perception of the medical council is that all of these medical colleges are making crores of money, and we should put a stop to that. And one of the identifications of this problem was the Ukraine-Russia war. Almost 20,000 students are studying medicine in Ukraine, and close to maybe 100,000 are studying outside the country. And the government or the regulator feels that they can wish away this problem by just saying that we'll cut the fees so that students don't have to leave the country. That's not the solution. It's a much deeper issue, which is to do with the kind of regulatory cost that is required to maintain most of the medical faculty here. We empathize, and I should tell this to Kailash ji also. In the overall institution, out of 27,000 students, we have about 1,500 faculty. So the ratio is about 1:18. But in the medical college, for about 650 or 700 students, we have about 200 faculty, which is 1:3.5. I think many global universities will die for such a student-faculty ratio. Why do we require 1:3.5 faculty when many other institutions, even globally, are able to do it for much lesser? So this is one of the many reasons that drive up the cost of medical education in the country. And this is just an example that I am citing. But instead of looking at the problem in totality, we're looking at one of the superficial outcomes and trying to fix that. That's not going to solve our problem. So this is an example of external challenges. Internal, and this is the more important thing, particularly for the audience sitting in front of me. I started this journey as the president close to 4 years ago with big ambitions, a lot of thoughts. I am happy with where we are today, but is it all that we could have been? Definitely not. And is there more that I can do? Absolutely. I think there are a lot of mistakes I make, and I try to learn from them. The big challenge I see is mindset. And I think morality is a big part of that. People in leadership positions, people in positions of power, faculty members in particular, because they interact with students a lot. How many of us are behaving in a manner that the institution would want you to, or you said that you would? This is where I think the hypocrisy in society is very high. We all speak that we are a Gandhian institution and we believe in Gandhian values. But how many of us are actually practicing Gandhian values? Very few of us. In parts, yes, we are all good people. But in totality, are we actually conducting ourselves that way? What does this mean? What are some of the outcomes of this? People in power have two challenges. One, they don't want to take responsibility for that power. So we often see things that could be resolved at a faculty level going to the Vice Chancellor's office for his decision, which is a waste of his time. In the opposite, we have people who use that power and abuse it in many ways. I don't want to articulate on this platform. And then people in leadership deal with the challenge of ego, insecurity, inability to work with each other. Everybody wants to dominate the other. There are few who are able to overcome those personality challenges and work towards the greater good. I mean, we have, I would say, relative to most universities in India today, I can confidently say that we have some of the best leadership in the country. But in spite of that, if I'm saying that we have these challenges, just imagine the plight of most institutions in this country. So as leaders, the onus on you, as faculty, the onus on you, as senior members of the organization, it's very, very high. And it's good to sit here, listen and say that yes, it's good, but then you walk out of it and then in one day the picture is back to normal. This is what I have been experiencing. We are gung-ho when we meet and we talk about things, but the minute we walk out of the door, we forget and we're back to our usual selves. So where I would like to question all of you is that, like children, how many of you are capable of learning at any age that you are at today? And how many of you are capable of growing out of your biases? How many of you are capable of growing outside your limitations, comfort zones, whatever they may be? If you are not able to grow out of your comfort zone about your limitations, I don't think we will be able to achieve the goal that GITAM is setting out to. I don't care as much about rankings or goals in the short term. I think this is what I care about. When I hear instances of leaders performing poorly, behaving poorly, when I hear instances of faculty members behaving unethically, when it be in the way they conduct their exams, the way they award marks, the way they even take care of attendance, that causes grief to me. And unfortunately, that has not been addressed. So without these fundamental core issues being addressed, I don't think any great things will come. Anything else that comes is just superficial. So those superficial outcomes can wait. But in the short term, as president and as a leadership team, I am very committed that we will keep working to weed these things out. And I understand that we live in a society where we have a lot of role models who lead us the other way. So many of us are falling prey to that. We are, I don't know, maybe we are weak. We see a role model and we see somebody who's taken a shortcut and achieved success, and it makes us feel that why can't I do that? Why shouldn't I do that? In education, if we fall into that mindset, we're going to fail miserably. If we believe that shortcuts are the way to success. That is including but not limited to the kind of PhDs some of us may have gotten, the kind of PhD students we are guiding, and the way that process is being conducted. And then obviously that will translate to the way we teach, the way we assess, the way we work. We are trying. I mean, one thing time and again we have been working as a leadership team is to, without discrimination, to help those who we feel are good and committed to the growth of the organization, and to take strong action against those who we feel are violating those moral codes. It's a continuous process. I know people have become very serious, but I don't get opportunity where I'm physically standing in front of you, so I want to use this opportunity to speak about this. I'll come back to this topic, but let's lighten it up a little bit. Then we're speaking about women. I was just seeing the members sitting on the stage, and then many of our senior leadership team. I think we have maybe 10 or 20% people in leadership positions who are women out of the total leadership team in GITAM. Unfortunate. We've been adding some women leadership, and that's happy. But on the contrary, if you look at our students' level, as I had said, I have been to 4 graduation ceremonies. We have awarded maybe 40 or 45 gold medals to undergraduate and postgraduate students. I would say maybe 2 or 3 are male students, and everybody else is female students. So the potential to excel is definitely much, much higher in women. But somehow that's not translating once we reach the older ages and leadership positions. So that also we are committed, starting from a young age, to work on that. And I think that women over the last few decades in particular have indicated their capacity to dominate men.
in many fields. But I think men are feeling insecure, that they don't want to lose that domination. So they are trying in all ways to suppress that. But I stand for that not to happen within GITAM, and we will strongly face that. I don't think many of the men here are happy, because their dominions are going to get questioned. But again, without discrimination, we will not let you go on the way you are going. I cannot look at each one of you or each department on a daily basis, but everyone has their time coming. Definitely, we will work on that. It's inevitable. This is ingrained in our culture, because today, whatever mindset we have grown up in, the culture that we have grown up in, those conditions do not exist today. Today, the power is not physical. The power is mental. It's the power of your brain. And obviously, intellectually, women have demonstrated that they are much better than us. So in their ability to manage, in their ability to absorb knowledge, in their ability to concentrate, in their ability to be mature about their future. Now, how do we use that energy? Because if GITAM has to achieve its goals, then I'm assuming that the women have to be there for us to achieve those goals. Otherwise, we're going to fall behind. So we will take that seriously, and we will bring that in. And then about children, a topic that's obviously very close to Kailashji's heart. And while I did know that there is Nobel Laureate and Nobel Peace Prize winners, what I did not know is the distinction. And Kailashji was telling me that Nobel Peace Prize winners in the world are about 22, I think, or 23 maybe, of whom only 15 are mobile, are able to travel, out of a total of, I don't know, hundreds of Nobel Prize winners. So we have the unique opportunity to have one of those 15 active members sitting here in front of us. Thank you, Kailashji, for accepting our invitation to speak here at the GITAM Foundation Day. So the Foundation Day was founded by my grandfather. He gave a 3 crore endowment, and he said that the interest that this fund generates should be given out as an annual award. And we've had Nobel Prize winners and Bharat Ratnas come here in the past and inspire us, and we look for one more such day today where we are inspired by your journey and your thoughts. One of the topics that I was speaking with him particularly about children is, one, obviously, we have huge challenges in society, and I'm not going to speak about that. Kailash is going to speak about that. But what I see at GITAM when it comes to children is they come to us at the age of 17, 18, 19 in the undergraduate program. And in most cases, we find it that they are already formed, and we find it difficult to make them unlearn either the way they learn or the way they think, the way they operate. And one of the reasons why we started Swecha, the early childhood school in Vizag, is to see if we can address that from early childhood, from the age of 3, 4 years old. Because what's happening to the students who are coming to us is, one, their willingness to invest into learning is low. Almost all of them are looking at college education as just something that they need to complete, get a tick mark. So examinations are just innovative ways of cheating and just to work around the system. Even things that we provide to them for free, Coursera, which is something we're spending over 10 crores a year, we find that many students are just completing them to claim that we have done X number of courses. Fortunately, some of our faculty also are guilty of that. And they go to YouTube and they say, they find what is the answer sheet for this course. And instead of completing it in 6 or 8 hours, in 1 hour they're done with that course. Some students have claimed they've completed 300 courses in Coursera over the period of 6 months, 9 months. So when students don't value their learning, don't value their education, the outcome of it is they don't care. When they're sitting in their graduation ceremony after 4 years or 3 years with us,
They're only interested in talking to the person sitting next to them rather than listening to the galaxy of speakers on the stage. And it is our job, regardless of whatever damage, adversity that the student has faced, the child has faced in their life, whether it be in their house or in their school, within the time that they are with us, to transform them. And if we don't do it, and then they go out into the world, then we have lost a great opportunity to develop young citizens who can go and change the world we live in. And this I cannot do. This has to be done by you, leaders, society members, faculty, staff members, every single one of you. You interact with students in some form or shape. You have the opportunity to touch and inspire them in the positive direction or in the negative direction. If all of you were inspiring them in the right direction, then the outcomes that we're seeing today in terms of student behavior, children's behavior would not be there. So we have to unlearn, we have to change the way we operate if we need our children to go into a better future. And here I think the challenging part of Kailashji's work is, at least directly, and because in my other life I'm a politician, we care very little about children because they don't vote for us. It's very difficult for us to at least directly think about children's issues because I'm not going to go ask them for a vote. So I think it's a very noble cause that Kailashji has chosen, and he was giving me certain anecdotes where he has been able to influence the heads of country and the kingdoms or the princely states, over 100 in the world, in many issues, and brought them all on the same platform, and multiple times over the last 3.5 decades, where they've been able to bring in legislation, bring in conventions in the world in the way children are treated. And I think this particularly is very important because today GITAM struggles to get social inclusion. Our tuition is expensive for most programs, and unlike public institutions, we don't get any grant funding for educating students like the way maybe the United States supports private institutions. So social access, which is people from underprivileged and discriminated backgrounds having the opportunity to educate their children in high quality institutions, early childhood, higher education, is very important. Because if the quality of education is only limited to a few, then a country with now I think 140 crore people is not going to progress at the pace that we hope to. And I think the work that Kailashji is doing in providing child safety, security, education is critical to enabling institutions like GITAM and others to have the opportunity to impact a wide spectrum of the society and not just limited to the affluent or the privileged. So that is something that I am very, very keen on. And one thing that I was discussing with Kailashji is if you are impacting children at a very young age, we should develop children, develop young students who will go become the leaders of the nation, leaders of the world, who then understand the problems and don't need to be convinced on issues through rallies or marches or other things. But actually they come to us saying that I want to solve this problem, give me ideas on how to solve it. So those are the kinds of students, if we are able to develop today, we have 27,000 students. If the students who are graduating from us become tomorrow, because ultimately today the biggest influencer of the way the world works are governments. So we need to be in the government. We need to have students who are government officers, who are politicians, who understand what is required to impact change at scale and have the resilience, have the qualities to actually fight that battle. And I'm confident that now that we have connected with Kailashji, I'll definitely pick his brain, take his ideas, and I look forward to working with you in any manner possible to really think big and see how we can change our states, our country, and the world. Thank you.
On behalf of the gathering, I would like to thank the Honorable President, Shri M. Shri Bharat, for his thought-provoking and promising address. The orator dominates those who hear him, convinces their reason, controls their judgment, compels their action. For the time being, he is master. GITAM School of Law conducted the competition for the Best Student Speaker Awards 2022. On this occasion, I request our Honorable Chief Guest, Nobel Laureate Mr. Kailash Satyarthi, to present the awards to the top 3 winners of the Best Student Speaker Competition 2022. I now invite the winners to come onto the dais. Christina Divyalekha S. from the Bengaluru campus. Sashank Dasari from the Bengaluru campus. P. Maunika, Jimsar, Vishakhapatnam. They're supposed to be. Sashank Dasari from the Bengaluru campus and P. Maunika from Jimsar. I don't think they're there. They're not here? They aren't, sir. I now request Dr. Jayapal to give the citation to the chief guest.
Mr. President, I deem it an honor and a privilege to present the Nobel Peace Laureate Mr. Kailash Satyarthi, internationally acclaimed child rights activist. On behalf of the entire GITAM community, I am extremely delighted to extend our warmest congratulations to Nobel Peace Laureate Mr. Satyarthi on his exemplary achievements. Nobel Peace Laureate Mr. Kailash Satyarthi is one of the tallest leaders and the loudest voices in the global fight against the exploitation of children. He has personally rescued tens of thousands of children from the scourge of slavery. His fearless and unrelenting policy advocacies for eliminating violence against children have resulted in the global path-breaking legislation. In 2014, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for focusing attention on the grave exploitation of children for financial gain. Nobel Peace Laureate Mr. Kailash Satyarthi started Bachpan Bachao Andolan, Save the Childhood movement, to rescue the children and their families from the shackles of slavery, paving the way from their reintegration into mainstream society with the help of state actors under the legal policy framework of India. Through his sustained policy advocacy efforts in India, he played a pivotal role in mobilizing support, ensuring the passage of Child Labor Act in the year 1986. Under the aegis of Nobel Peace Laureate Mr. Satyarthi, Bachpan Bachao Andolan has rescued over 90,000 children from the scourge of bondage, trafficking, and exploitative labor over the last 4 decades in India. Having also established a short-term rehabilitation center, Mukti Ashram, on the outskirts of Delhi, and a long-term rehabilitation center, Bal Ashram at Viratnagar near Jaipur in India, Nobel Peace Laureate Mr. Satyarthi's deeds are truly commendable. These rehabilitation centers for children serve as replicable models for child care institutions in India and overseas. In 1998, he conceived and led one of the largest civil society movements, Global March Against Child Labor, traversing across 103 countries, covering 80,000 kilometers, with a demand for international law on worst forms of child labor. This eventually led to the adoption of ILO Convention number 182 on the worst forms of child labor, which was formally acclaimed in 1999 and became the fastest ratified convention in the history of ILO. Nobel Peace Laureate Mr. Kailash Satyarthi is also the architect and the leader of the Global Campaign for Education, GCE, a civil society movement working to end the global education crisis and ensuring that states deliver the right of everyone to a free, quality public education. He successfully spearheaded a countrywide movement to make education a constitutional provision, which subsequently paved way for the right of children to free and compulsory education in 2009 in India. His contribution to the fight against child slavery and bonded labor has been acknowledged internationally. Several prestigious awards have been conferred on him, including the Defenders of Democracy Award 2009 US, Alfonso Comyn International Award 2008 Spain, Medal of Italian Senate 2007 Italy, Robert F. Kennedy International Human Rights Award USA, Achener International Peace Prize, Germany, and Friedrich Ebert International Human Rights Award, Germany, to name a few. Nobel Peace Laureate Mr. Kailash Satyarthi's sustained effort to end child slavery, trafficking, forced labor, and violence received international support when he got child protection and welfare-related clauses included in the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations in September 2015. He is the founder of Parliamentarians Without Borders, a movement that unites legislators across the globe in an endeavor to end violence against children. He has also engineered the first ever model platform, Laureates and Leaders, which happens to be the strongest podium for the cause of children across the globe. Nobel Peace Laureate Mr. Kailash Satyarthi envisions a world where the youth realizes its truest potential as the agent of positive social transformation. It is for this reason he launched the 100 Million for 100 Million campaign in December 2016. This campaign is a global intervention to mobilize 100 million youth to shape a better future for 100 million children who have been denied their rights and liberties. In 2017, raising a clarion call against child sexual abuse, he led the 12,000 kilometers Bharat Yatra from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, taking along child abusive survivors, civil society organizations, politicians across the party lines, bureaucrats, celebrities, and faith leaders to put the national spotlight on this pressing issue. He has demanded a new legally binding UN Convention against online child sexual abuse and pornography. Several Nobel laureates, heads of the states, and international bodies like OECD and global leaders, including German Chancellor Angela Merkel, President of Panama, Her Highness Sheikha Moza of Qatar, and His Serene Highness Prince Albert II of Monaco, among others, have extended support for the cause. His Holiness Pope Francis has also strongly supported the endeavor. To achieve his vision of world free of violence against children, where all children are free, safe, healthy, and educated, he founded Kailash Satyarthi's Children's Foundation. The foundation's raison d'etre is to advocate for the creation and implementation of child-friendly policies, ensuring holistic development and empowerment of children across the globe. For Nobel Peace Laureate Satyarthi, every single minute matters, every single child matters, every single childhood matters. We are truly privileged to have such an embodiment of altruism and selflessness in our midst. He serves as a beacon of hope, lending voice to the voiceless and striving to create a world that is child-friendly. Showing great personal courage, Nobel Peace Laureate Mr. Kailash Satyarthi, maintaining Gandhi's tradition, has headed various forms of protests and demonstrations, all peaceful, focusing on the grave exploitation of children for financial gain. He has also contributed to developing important international conventions on children's rights. In recognition of Nobel Peace Laureate Satyarthi's yeoman services rendered in the field of social reform, GITAM proposes to honor him with the GITAM Foundation Award 2022. Mr. President, may I request you to have the honor of presenting the GITAM Foundation Award 2022 to Nobel Peace Laureate Mr. Kailash Satyarthi.
I request the Honorable President of GITAM, Shri M. Shri Bharat, to present the GITAM Foundation Award to the Nobel Peace Laureate, Mr. Kailash Satyarthi. Nobel Peace Laureate Mr. Kailash Satyarthi also presents a memento and books for the library to GITAM. I now take the privilege of inviting the Honorable Chief Guest, Nobel Peace Laureate Kailash Satyarthi, to deliver the GITAM Foundation Endowment Lecture.
Namaste, good morning. My dear young friends, students of this university, Honorable President of University, Sri Bharat Garuji, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Dayanandji, all the board members, sisters and brothers. I accept this honor with utmost humility. It's a pride moment because I am amongst those people, some of the brightest minds of this region and of India, who are shaping New India. So New India is not merely a slogan. It would be built when you have that courage and conviction, when you have that dream embraced by you and deliver through your actions. You are makers of New India. Few minutes ago, Sri Bharatji said that he has not seen this kind of silence in last 4 events. I don't know why you are so silent. The reason could be that you think that you are sitting in front of a Nobel Peace Laureate, so you have to become peaceful. You have to show peace, at least on your face. But let me share a story with you. There was a journalist driving in countryside, and he suddenly noticed that a man was standing in an open field, scorching heat, looking at the sun during the daytime. So he was surprised. He slowed down his car and went close to that guy, kept on looking for a few minutes. And then he went close to him and asked, "Sir, may I ask, what are you doing? I'm curious to know. I'm a journalist." Man said, "Don't disturb me. I'm doing a very important work." Then he waited for another 5 minutes and asked, "Sir, I don't see, what are you doing? What is that important work?" Then the man replied, he was an ordinary farmer standing there. He said that in my childhood, I learned something. So I'm waiting for a Nobel Prize. More surprisingly, this journalist asked, "You're waiting for a Nobel Prize?" He said, "Yes, sir, because I read in my childhood that those who are outstanding in their field. So I'm outstanding in my field, and one day I'm going to become a Nobel laureate. So if you think that Nobel laureates come from some different place, you're wrong. They keep on standing in their field as this man was, as ordinary as anyone is. When I came here, I was, even before coming, when I got the invitation, I accepted because of several reasons. One reason was that this deemed university or this institution is derived by the name of Gandhi and Gandhian values. That is close to my heart. It is not enough to use the name of Gandhi, but more importantly, how to embed those values, which is much more difficult, as you also pointed out. But the second reason was that being an engineer myself and studied in an engineering college, did all kind of demonstrations and activities, of course, apart from studies, for 5-6 years. I always feel at home when I go to any college of technology or engineering college. So I am feeling at home. But I didn't know that you guys are so generous that you have, when I was coming from the airport, I saw that you have built a mountain, a hill in my name, Kailash Hill. So thank you for that. I'm feeling at home and I wanted to stay here longer, if I could. I will begin with the first mantra of Rig Veda. Rig Veda is considered as the book of divine knowledge, the most ancient, the first book of divine knowledge. And it says, Agni Mide Purohitam Yajjassu Deva Mrityujam Hotaram Ratna Dhatamam. And the simplest meaning of this is that Purohit means those who believe in betterment of society, betterment of nation, betterment of humanity, betterment of their neighborhood, those who do some service for others, they are Purohit. Pur ki hit karne wala. Welfare of others. So it says that let Purohits come together, assemble at one place, and ignite the fire of knowledge, the fire of compassion, the fire of love. Whatever best you have inside you, offer it in that fire to multiply it. Yaj, that is called yaj. When you offer your best and ignite that fire, excel this fire, inside and outside, that becomes a yajja for the betterment of society. Yajna. Some people pronounce it yadna, whatever. So let us do this yajna together and put your best knowledge. Then try to convert that knowledge into prosperity. Hotaram ratna dhatumam. When this knowledge is multiplied, the knowledge of technology and science and medicines and management, pure sciences, applied sciences, whatever, literature, economics, that knowledge must be transformed in prosperity for all. So the knowledge which is created in the assembly of good doers and multiplied further is converted into knowledge for all and prosperity for all. That all has the most important meaning, because in Sanskrit, words and phrases, every single thing, they can divide even the vowel into several parts, and then you see the different meanings of it. But here is a very clear meaning that we all should come together, especially in this situation in the world, when the divide, when the hatred, when the falsehood, misinformation is fueled in that fire and multiplied through the social media, information technology, artificial intelligence, which is a gift of human mind for the betterment of the world, but that is all again misused to propagate wrongs in the society, evils in the society, and evil of hate is one of them. It is very necessary that people who wanted to see the world a better place, a peaceful, sustainable place, wanted to live in peace and security in the future of their life, whatever they do, whatever is their occupation or their career building, education. We have to learn that how we learn to live together and create some goodness, multiply it for the betterment of all. This is something which has been envisaged by the rishis of Vedas hundreds, thousands, or I don't know how many years ago. But that knowledge becomes the divine knowledge. Today, when we celebrate this Foundation Day, we celebrate a vision. We celebrate a dream, a commitment, hard work of its founder, who was driven by Gandhian values. Definitely, that's why he put the name Gandhi and began with Gandhi. Sri MBBS Murthy ji. And yesterday I had some chat with Sri Bharat ji, and I found that he wanted to take those values forward with the new outlook, with the new technology, with the new ideas, to modernize this institution, keeping the core value in its foundation. That is the message of this Foundation Day. All those who have contributed in last 42 years, maybe for a year or maybe for 10 years, maybe for 4 decades, I would like to pay my deep respect for each one of them. Those who taught in the university as faculty, those who cleaned that buildings, those who built these buildings, those who were working in hostels, messes, providing you food, cooking you food, I pay my humble respect to all of them. Because the foundation should not be lost. The values of the foundation. The foundation is built with certain values, Gandhian values, with a pride for India, with a dream for making a better India. As you heard about, or you were listening to the long story of my life and work, frankly speaking, I forget most of the things myself. When somebody speaks like that, oh, I said, oh yeah, I was working on that. That was my accomplishment. So my accomplishment is not the Nobel Prize. In fact, I tell you this story, one story, because it was beyond my imagination. I mean, how can you think of suddenly getting a call that, Mr. Satyarthi, you are going to become a Nobel laureate, peace laureate. But I didn't get this message exactly in this way. On that day, a journalist called me, and he was so excited. He did not complete his full sentence. He said, out of excitement, Kailash ji, Nobel Prize. So he was a non-person. So I thought that somebody might have got the Nobel Prize. And he is asking for my reaction, my comment. Journalists always ask for some comment. Even if somebody is dying or somebody is shrinking in the in a pond or a river, they bring their camera. And somebody goes close to you. How are you feeling? Could you give some comment? And they can't do anything because it's a question of TRP and their bosses. They want the quick reaction from the person who was dying there. But apart from joke, let me come back to my story. So when he said, I was working in my office on my laptop, and searching for the cheapest possible ticket for Germany. I was invited in Germany for certain things. So makemytrip.com, yatra.com, easytrip.com, etc., etc. So I left the phone on the table. I don't want to be shown that I have no idea that who won the Nobel Prize today before giving my reaction. So I started Googling Nobel Peace Prize 2014, but nothing appeared because it was a matter of a few seconds. And then my colleagues and everyone from the office, from the ground floor, they rushed to my room, and some of them were crying out of joy, some of them were hugging and kissing, and they lifted me and so on. So I was not so stupid. Then I realized, oh, this happened to me. But I did not forget one dream of mine about Nobel Prize. I'm telling you the truth, that when I was young, maybe 12, 13 years old or less, I read something about the Nobel Prize and people like Martin Luther King and so on. Dalai Lama later on. So I had a dream that one day I will sit with a Nobel laureate and get a good picture, a photo. And I will take this photo to all my rooms in my life when I will have a better house. I will keep it in my drawing room, sitting with a Nobel Peace Laureate preferably. And that day did not come for 50 years. It was just a coincidence that I and His Holiness Dalai Lama was sharing a dais in Germany. So I was looking here and there. I was looking for a photographer, but photographers were not allowed due to security reasons of the Holiness. one photographer came and he took some photos, but he was focusing on him, not on me. And I was so nervous and I was so anxious and desperate to find another photographer. And Dalai Lama was holding my hand and asked, "Young man, whom are you looking for?" I could not do I said, "No, sir." Then now the Dalai Lama and I am like friends and family. He's like my father or elder brother, but very good friend also. He invited me to his home to stay for a week just before the pandemic. And his idea, or his people's idea, was that two of us stay together for a few days and I'll talk freely on any subject or laugh or whatever, joke, and some serious things also time to time. But nothing is pre-planned, nothing is architecture. So that happened, and the idea was that this conversation could be converted into a book, and that book is coming very soon. The book is completed now, somebody who was taking the notes. So that day, when I got the prize, got the news, I did not want to miss that chance to have a photograph with a Nobel laureate. So I rushed into my washroom, stood in front of the mirror, and took at least 10, 15 selfies. So my first photograph with the Nobel laureate was my own selfie with me. So, dear friends, world is facing so many competing problems and issues and challenges. Pandemic has not yet gone. Russia-Ukraine crisis, this war. And there were already some crises existing, the fuel crisis, the food crisis, the whole issue of energy and global warming. The world was engaged, very much engaged on the global warming issue. But suddenly these new competing issues have emerged. And that has pushed 200 additional people and their children, almost 200 children, into chronic poverty globally. In addition to it, Russia-Ukraine war has pushed another 40 to 45 million children into chronic poverty. And that is bringing very serious challenges. In our own country, organizations who work with me, or I work with them, they are facing this problem every day. The number of children who are being trafficked, children who are being sold and bought in lesser prices than the kettles, that is increasing. In many places, in many villages across India, where the child marriages were not completely halted, completely eradicated, but this evil was somehow not so aggravated, which is aggravated now. The people who lost their livelihood, some of the migrant workers who returned back home or who lost livelihood for 2 years or so, food and other things were provided by philanthropists, by civil society, by government agencies. Somehow they survived. But when they lost their livelihood, their children were most vulnerable for child labor, trafficking, slavery, and child marriages. I personally met and talked to many children and their fathers the children who were being married, and their fathers told that, "Sir, we wanted to marry our daughter at the age of 12 because we have no other option. At least we will save some food at home for the younger ones." This is a global phenomenon. This is a global issue. And that has to be challenged and solved with a deeper sense of compassion. As all of us know that we live in a globalized world, but that is just a phrase which is used. But when it comes to the sense of responsibility to each other in this globalized world, we forget completely about our own neighbors and family members, our brothers and sisters, because we are rushing, we are in a race and competing with each other every day. We have globalized economy, markets, production, supply chains, information, technology, everything. And we have seen good results as well as the flip side, the bad results, consequences. But dear friends, this is the time India should take a lead to globalize its core DNA power, the core value of idea of India, and that is compassion. India should globalize compassion. We should globalize compassion. We should take a lead in globalization of compassion. I'm not talking about compassion which is a faith-related preaching. We are all born with this biological, proven by neuroscientists, this value of compassion, which is the part of our existence. I'm not talking about sympathy, which is an outer circle when you relate to others with their pains and sufferings. The inner circle is empathy, when you feel the suffering of others as your own suffering. Sometimes it is helpful, but sometimes it is very frustrating because you start feeling the suffering of others as your own, so you suffer, co-suffer, in case of empathy. If you have some power, some resources, some ideas to alleviate that suffering of others, you are happy. But if not, normally you don't take action to alleviate the suffering of others, being just empathetic. But the core of these two circles inside it is the compassion. Compassion is the feeling for suffering of others as your own suffering, with a drive, with a quest, with an urgency to end that suffering of others as your own suffering. Means you have to find ideas, solutions. Means you have to take initiatives. Means you have to take risks. Means you have to show your leadership that inculcate those values inside you when you are dealing with compassion, not with empathy and sympathy. And that's why we have to globalize compassion. Let me share some of my journey through 3 children. You can read my stories, they are there in social media and everywhere. But 3 children. And they are woven around 3 things which I learned from them, but I also learned from my own struggle of life. The first is dream. If you are a human being, you can dream. You have given this power of dreaming. It's a God gift. I'm not talking about dreaming in the night when you are sleeping. You can dream during the day. But if you are allowed to dream, all of you might be having some dreams in your life. That's why you are here. That's why you are studying here. That's why you are teaching here. That's why you are leading this institution, because you had that dream. So the first is dream. If you are allowed to dream, why do you dream for small things? Why your dreams are small, tiny dreams? If you are allowed to dream, dream big. Dream bigger. Dream biggest. If you wanted to join the politics, why do you want to dream only for a municipal corporate or a MLA or an MP? If you are allowed to dream, you are free to dream, then you dream for a prime minister of your country. If you are sitting here and wanted to be a teacher, why you wanted to have a dream for a teacher, of a teacher? Be the vice chancellor, dream of a vice chancellor. Or if you wanted to become the bureaucrats, you should dream of becoming the cabinet secretary in the country, or whatever, scientist. Dream to get a Nobel Peace Prize or any other Nobel Prize in science or other discipline. I wish that one day you will be proud that GITAM University has given birth to a Nobel laureate. Or a prime minister of this country, or at least the chief minister of this state. So first is dream. But if you dream and you become chief minister, prime minister, Nobel laureate, or vice chancellor, that is your personal dream. Your dreams should be driven by compassion, by the betterment of others. As I said at the outset, yajna. Giving back to the society for multiplication, what you have possessed, what you have earned your life. Education is, knowledge is the key. So those who dream for themselves, they are known people, they become powerful, famous. But those who dream for others also, for the betterment of society, they create the history. Those who dream for themselves, they do not create the history of humankind. The history of betterment of humankind is created only by those who dream big, who dream biggest, but dream for everyone, dream for all. And my second D, I'm going to ask all those 3 Ds, so don't forget it. You have to answer. My second D is discover. Discover your inner power. If you are alive, you might have been born in a poor family. You may not be having resources. Sometimes you feel frustrated, disillusioned with the systems and society and so on, government, state, and so on. But you are still alive. So if you are alive, then discover your inner power to change those wrongs. Discover your power to fulfill your dream. God can never be so meager that He has given you birth with a tiny of power in you, tiny of potential in you, tiny of possibilities in you. Everyone is born with those things. I am a very ordinary person. My father was a police constable and he died, he passed away at a very early age. And my mother, widow mother, has to sell her ornaments and everything for my higher studies and higher studies of my sister and brothers. I remember that today we stood up to give with the prizes or some certificates to the best speakers. Unfortunately, they didn't turn up. But when I got my first certificate, I was in 6th grade or 5th grade, I can't recall, but maybe 9, 10 years old. That was my first prize or certificate in essay writing. And my second certificate was in speaking. oratory. And I kept my first certificate very carefully in a box in my house. And the roof of my house, my home, small home, was covered with these mud kabelu, what you call the mud tiles. And each year, the monkeys used to come and break those tiles, and we have to go up, and my father, my elder brothers have to repair them. So I learned repairing those things. So during the rainy season, the water leaks and falls in our rooms. So one day there was heavy rain, so I kept my certificate, which was so close to my heart, in a box. And then the water fell there. So I have just shifted it to another corner and another corner because it was so close to me. So we slept in the night because there was no rain. But somehow, the place we found the safest, suddenly in the night, the water leaked. And in the morning when I got up, all of us got up, it was completely destroyed. It was wet, and I took out the certificate, and that was torn into pieces, and I was crying badly. My father told me that these certificates and these prizes will come and go. But nobody can take away, no water, no fire, nothing can take away the character, the skills, the knowledge which you gain. If you are a good writer, who can take this away from you? Why you are depending on your certificates? And I always kept in mind, and when I got the Nobel Peace Prize, there were several ideas, several thoughts, but I have written a letter to the President of India that I know that this is the first Nobel Prize lying in this land. That was told to me by Pranav Da, that the first Nobel Prize came in this country through Rabindranath Tagore ji, but that prize was stolen. And rest of the people, either they were already foreign citizens, they have changed their citizenship before getting the Nobel Prize, most of them, or all of them, except one or two. So that was very difficult. There was no Nobel medal on this land of great India. So I thought that I should give away this to my nation. Nobody can take it away. So President told me, sir, Mr. Satyarthi, what are you doing? Yeah, but it was taken by his great-grandson somewhere. Yeah. So certificate is there, the medal was taken away. I'm talking about the medal. So there are certificates, but because they make the photocopies and give it to other people. So C.V. Raman was definitely the Indian who got. But somehow I requested Pranav Da, the president, that I wanted to give away to the nation. Through you, you are the first citizen, and one day I have offered this to him. Nobody could believe, and while giving him, I said, this is for my nation, this is for every Indian citizen, for you, for you, for you, for you. And then I said, cited Kabir Das, you might have heard the name of Kabir. So he said that मेरा मुझ में कछु नहीं जो कुछ है सब तोर और तेरा तुझको सौंपते क्या लागत है मोर. Whatever I have earned, it does not belong to me alone. This belongs to everyone. This belongs to God. I am offering this back to. So it is not necessary that you are born with the golden spoon. Only then you can think big and discover your power. You have enormous power. So discover your power and discover your opportunities outside. We always live in a time of opportunities. Wherever we are, there is always a reason to feel that there is an opportunity to do something. Even opportunities to learn if we fail, we we live in opportunities. So discover opportunities and power. And the third thing is that, what could be the third thing? Dream, discover, and third thing is do. Do. Act. There is no substitute to action. There is no substitute to doing. Thinking is easy. Talking is even easy. You can make your brand value if you talk good. But doing is difficult, but one has to do. So what are those three things? I cannot hear. The professors are shy. Are you afraid of your young president? Or you are afraid of others who are sitting on the dais? What is the first D? D. And the second? Discover. And the third? Do. Before I conclude, I tell you the story of a girl, 8-year-old girl, 7 or 8-year-old girl whom I rescued from a stone quarry many years ago. She was born in intergenerational slavery. Her grandparents or great-grandparents have taken some debt, borrowed some money from the great-grandparents of the quarry owner in Haryana. And these people, the elderly people, were brought from Rajasthan to work in Haryana. I learned that these people were confined there and the women and girls were raped and all kind of atrocities they were facing with. So me and my colleagues went to rescue them. It was always a risky proposition. We had to find the best time in the middle of the night or early morning. I lost 2 of my colleagues. One was shot dead, one was beaten to death. Almost all my senior colleagues have scars in their bodies. I have my right shoulder broken, my ribs are broken, my leg is broken. You can find scars and injuries on all my body. So it was very risky, always. We reached there and we somehow freed those children, women and men. And I took young children in my car and I was driving very fast. And suddenly I realized that these children were very shy, traumatized. I wanted to make them laugh or ease. Then I suddenly remembered that there were some bananas lying in the back of my car. So I told those children who were sitting on the back seat that pick up those bananas and eat it. They did not respond. I said, look at this green, yellowish bunch of fruits. So somehow a boy passed on those bananas on the front seat. This girl, 8-year-old, was sitting beside me and 2 more girls and boys. 5, 6 were sitting in the back and I was driving very fast. So I insisted that eat this banana. And this girl who picked up one banana, she said in her language, Rajasthani, that ये तो कोई प्याज नहीं है. This is not an onion. What kind of onion is this? Another boy who was sitting asked another question that neither it is a potato. What kind of potato or onion this is? I said, no, this is not potato or onion. This is fruit. Eat it. Sweet. They have never tasted sweet thing. And I was driving and suddenly I saw that some children were eating banana and throwing it away. Some children were trying to push in their mouth because I was insisting. They did not know how to peel banana before eating. I'm not talking about medieval age. I'm not talking about Africa. I am talking about my own motherland, which I'm proud of. I am talking about only some years ago, this happened. And when I saw this, I felt so bad about my own ignorance. I felt guilty. But I also learned that why didn't I teach them to eat banana, how to banana is eaten? And the difference between slavery and freedom, the difference between centuries-old ignorance, which was imposed intergenerationally, and basic learning and education could be understood through peeling a banana, and without peeling, they were eating. I taught them a little bit and they started eating. After a while, this girl put her hand on my shoulder with anger. And angrily, in her angry voice, she said, "Kyore, tu pehle kyun nahi aayo? Oh man, why didn't you come early?" Dear sisters, dear brothers, it was not because of banana's taste. She has seen, I knew that these children have seen rapes. When this girl, Devli's father, tried to run away, he was beaten and his wife was raped. The girl could not do it, could not do anything. She has also seen the death of her younger brother in the lap of her mother. They had no medication. And perhaps this was the first time in her life when she felt faith in society, in human beings, in someone. And that's why with the courage she was scolding me and asking, "Why didn't you come earlier?" Dear friends, millions of children are living like that. 5 boys and girls in a very younger age are sexually abused and raped every hour in India according to government statistics. The reality is much more serious, much more bigger, because many times these girls are abused or raped, they don't tell others. When they are sexually abused, boys and girls, especially in case of boys, they don't share with anyone. Even if they share with their mothers once in a while or dadi, nani, they calm them down and say that because that abuser was a relative, a poofa, a nana, a chacha, a uncle, dada, friend of father. So sentiments are suppressed. But this happened in multiple times in the life. There is a report that 53% of Indian women before attaining the age of 18 are one or other way sexually abused in terms of touch, in terms of abusive language, in terms of other things. And Devli asked me, "Why didn't you come early?" Can we leave this to the government authorities? Can we leave this to the police? We have to speak out, dear friends. We have to speak out. Devli spoke with authority. And when she was brought to our ashram and she stayed for a few years, she was taught. But when she went back, she decided that no child would be left behind, no child would be left out of freedom and education. She knocked every single door and found a boy, 10th grade pass, and requested him to teach rest of the children who have never touched pencils or slates or papers. This young man agreed, and all 36 children of Devli's village were in so-called school under a tree, started studying. And one day, some years ago in 2007 or 8, when I was invited to take part in the General Assembly of United Nations, we have organized an event. That time I was heading the Global Campaign for Education. So in that event, inside the UN Plaza, UN building in New York, we took Devli and one other girls from Africa with us. Devli spoke in front of all the world leaders, and she told her story. And she said, she asked one question to me, that Bhai Sahab, they call me Bhai Sahab, I have never seen such white people. What kind of flour they eat, or what kind of soap they use? And I had to explain all these things, but because ethically, I was bound to translate what she asked. So I had to translate. I was translating. And then she said, how fat they are. How come they become so fatty? Because they were presidents, prime ministers, queens, heads of UN agencies, and the head of FIFA, and the head of UNESCO. All these people were there. So I had to translate. But then she narrated her story and said, being a tribal girl, born in intergenerational slavery, with my commitment, with my compassion, she said, with the teachings, the values I have learned, I decided that no child will left out. Now every child in my community is going to my school. What are you doing? She is a very naughty girl, she was, and very, very charming. She asked this question to me, the first question, and the question she asked in front of all the world leaders, that if I can make sure that in my community, no child would be enslaved or illiterate, remain illiterate, what about you? Why can't you do this? I tell you that many of them were in tears. Then Prime Minister Gordon Brown and the Queen of Jordan, Queen Rania, and Kevin Rudd was the Prime Minister of Australia. Three of them rushed to the dais in tears and hugged her. And Gordon said that you have opened the eyes of the whole world, Devli, with your courage to speak. Courage to speak to the power. She did it. And on that very day, these leaders have announced $450 million for the education of the left out children in African countries on the very first day. Lakhs of children could be educated. So, my dear friends, you have much more power and opportunities. You can have bigger dreams. You can translate your dreams. You can translate your inner power and your actions to make our world a better place. In whatever positions you are, I'm sure that many of you are going to become engineers, scientists, leaders in your own fields, doctors. I'm quite surprised to know from you about the external threat or challenge you are facing. We will talk on it later on and see that what could be done about it. So anyway, you can definitely make a difference. Once again, I thank you very much for the Foundation Award, your love and respect. Young people always remember that he was talking about role model. No one else could be a better and bigger role model than you yourself. Your champions, your heroes, you find in cinema, on the silver screen. This is my hero, this is my heroine. You take their photos, you buy photos, big pictures, colorful pictures, and put you in your bedrooms, in your drawing rooms, in your study rooms, because they are your heroes. Sometimes the pictures of cricket players or other players and so on. Sometimes the leaders, political leaders, they are your heroes. But here I am going to tell these people
who do the acting, they are actors. If they kiss someone, they charge money. If they touch the feet of their mother, they charge money. If they cry, they charge money. If they laugh, they charge money. And the dialogue is pre-written. How can they become your heroes and role models? You can learn acting from them if you wanted to become an actor. But if you wanted to become a doctor, how come your role model or a hero can be a film actor? It is good. We should praise them for their great work, of course. We are proud of them for their talent, for their skills, for their art. But you should find a role model inside you. The hero is inside you. Hero is inside you. Because you don't charge any money when you love someone, when you hug someone, when you touch the feet of someone, when you teach your students in a better way, more morally, more ethically, with a lot of hard work instead of just thinking of getting salary in the in the end of the month. If you do it like that, because there is a hero inside you, you are not doing because there is a pre-written dialogue delivery. Is it true or not? If you respect your parents or your teachers because of some dialogue, कोई dialogue है, you do on your own. Do you care for the camera when you help your elderly mother or father or grandfather? Is there a cameraman standing behind you? Is there a director? I'm sure there must be some director. Who is directed to do? Is it? Yes or no? Yes or no? You do on your own. Your own instinct of doing good. So who is the hero? Tell loudly who is the hero. Raise your hands and say. Say, who is the hero? I am the hero. Are you the hero? I think the people sitting on the dais are a little shy. So who is the hero? You are also a hero. I am taking the photos that who is not raising the hand, they cannot be the hero. The heroes are here. So 90% people or 95% people sitting here are the heroes. And your vice chancellors and your presidents are watching it carefully. I'm going to share those pictures with him, that these are the real heroes, and rest you have to think for them. So who is the hero? I did not say that raise your one hand. I said raise your hands. Who is the hero? Thank you so much, heroes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. We're truly grateful for the opportunity to hear you speak. I invite Professor D. Gunashekaran, Registrar, GITAM Deemed University, to propose the vote of thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasant assignment to propose a vote of thanks to our chief guest, Nobel Peace Laureate, Mr. Kailash Satyarthi, for his inspiring and a memorable address on the occasion of the 42nd Foundation Day of GITAM. Very often, words fail, but your standing ovation expressed what we exactly wanted to express. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir, so much. I thank our visionary president, Mr. M. Sri Bharat, Vice President, Professor M. Gangadhar Rao, our Vice Chancellor, Professor Dayanand Siddhavatam, our Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Gautam Rao, distinguished members of the governing body, distinguished members of the Board of Management, thank you so much for your leadership. I thank all our deans, heads of schools, heads of departments, members of faculty, members of staff, friends, guests, invitees, and our media friends. Thank you so much for making this event to happen today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I call upon Dr. Malyada K. Anand from the Department of Fine and Performing Arts, GITAM School of Humanities and Social Sciences, to introduce the dance program.
Sujalam, Sufalam, Malayaja Sitalam, Sasyasyaamalam, Mataram, Vande Mataram. Bharata Varsha, Bharata Khanda, Bharata Desha or India. No matter whatever name you give to call it, it is undoubtedly the home of some of the oldest civilizations on this planet. In the words of Mark Twain, India is the cradle of human race, the birthplace of human speech. It is the mother of history, grandmother of legend, and the great-grandmother of tradition. It is certainly Sapradhama Samskruti Vishwavara, which means it is the first and the supreme culture in the entire world. Today, as the entire country of India is set to celebrate the 75 glorious and progressive years of Indian independence with the theme Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the Department of Fine and Performing Arts, GITAM School of Humanities and Social Sciences, has come forward to present to you an amalgamation of 3 Indian classical dance forms of Kuchipudi, Mohiniyattam, and Odissi. To a country blessed with many cultures and with extraordinary diversity, this is a tribute to its magnificent history and unparalleled endurance and humility. We have with us Dr. Anita Murthy, Assistant Professor, Department of Fine and Performing Arts, showcasing Mohiniyattam, Ms. Ananya Mishra for Odissi, and Ms. Kaivalya for Kuchipudi. Bharat, Anokha Rag Hai, is a tribute to our Mother India, who is the epitome of love, peace, and divinity. Ladies and gentlemen, Bharat, Anokha Rag Hai, from the Department of Fine and Performing Arts, GITAM School of Humanities and Social Sciences. Thank you.
भारत अनोखा राग इस एक तारे पे गूंज है जो जो रागिनी सब मिल गई एक धुन बनी
What an enthralling performance. Please rise for the national anthem.